Imagine waking up on Valentine's Day to find your lawyer frantically texting, "Post a gushy Instagram about Blake by sundown, or she'll leak 10 years of your private messages." That, according to a sworn affidavit now sitting in federal court, is the threat Taylor Swift's camp says exploded her Disney princess friendship with Blake Lively. The alleged demand, public loyalty in exchange for silence, flipped a decade of red carpet sisterhood into open court warfare, dragging NFL touchdowns, Marvel heroes, and even the Super Bowl into a legal vortex. But the phone call was only the spark. Subpoenas, unsigned denials, and a hush louder than a Grammy acceptance speech have laid bare how power really works behind A-list smiles. Strap in. Every receipt unravels another stitch from a friendship we all thought was airtight. For nearly a decade, Swift and Lively marketed the kind of friendship Hollywood agents dream about. Swift name-dropped Lively's daughters, James, Inez, and Betty, in folklore lyrics, transforming private family nicknames into pop culture Easter eggs. Lively returned the favor by directing Swift's 2021 "I Bet You Think About Me" video, turning a 3-minute breakup anthem into an awards season calling card for her own behind-the-camera ambitions. Fans devoured holiday selfies from Swift's Rhode Island estate, red carpet whispers of Auntie babysitting in London, and grainy stadium clips of Ryan Reynolds trying to keep up with Swift's Eras Tour choreography. Each post reinforced the brand, female friendship winning in an industry built on catty rivalries. Yet even during the sparkly years, insiders noticed subtle power math. Swift's empire dwarfed Lively's box office cachet, but Lively and Reynolds supplied Hollywood couple goals charisma that Swift's on-off boyfriends rarely sustained. PR strategists whispered that both teams benefited. Swift gained grown-up gravitas by hanging with a young mom who never courted scandal, while Lively piggybacked on the planet's biggest pop star for online reach. It looked symbiotic, until an on-set nightmare exposed how fragile manufactured loyalty can be. The first crack wouldn't appear on Instagram at all. It surfaced under brutal studio lights, where chemistry fizzled and lawsuits multiplied. It Ends With Us began shooting in spring 2024 as a sure-thing crowd-pleaser, a Colleen Hoover bestseller, a $25 million budget, and social media darlings Lively and Justin Baldoni co-starring. Then, everything imploded. By December 20th, Lively had filed a civil rights complaint accusing Baldoni of on-set harassment, improvising kissing scenes, and creating a hostile work environment. Baldoni fired back within a week. First, a $250 million libel suit against the New York Times for reporting on the feud, then a $400 million defamation and extortion claim naming Lively, Reynolds, and their publicist. Swift, deep into the European leg of the Eras Tour, kept radio silence as Lively's press turrets blasted daily updates. Fans noticed. Swift defends Selena Gomez at the drop of a subtweet. So why no supportive emoji for her dragon bestie? The hush grew louder on February 11, 2024, when Lively skipped the Super Bowl, leaving Swift and Travis Kelce to monopolize camera time. Tabloids asked why the Gossip Girl socialite wasn't in the VIP suite. Still no statement from Swift, no arm-in-arm TikTok to kill the rumors. In hindsight, that silence was less shade and more strategy. According to legal filings, the Super Bowl absence became the bargaining chip for the ultimatum that detonated months later. Valentine's Day 2025 would turn a PR cold shoulder into a legal mushroom cloud. At 9:13 a.m. on February 14, 2025, attorney Brian Friedman, freshly hired by Baldoni, checked a voicemail from a person closely linked to Taylor Swift. Minutes later, he was on a 1-hour call hearing a story that sounded like a thriller plot. Per Friedman's sworn affidavit, Blake Lively's counsel Michael Gottlieb had phoned Swift's attorney J. Douglas Baldridge demanding a social media endorsement. "Explain Blake's Super Bowl no-show, or we'll dump 10 years of your client's texts." Baldridge allegedly responded with one word, extortion, then hung up. Friedman drafted the affidavit the next day, filed it in court, and effectively tossed a grenade into the friendship's group chat. Legal analysts noted how rare it is to attach that kind of allegation to your own name in a federal docket. Perjury penalties aren't clickbait. Even rarer, the alleged threat combined celebrity privacy, screenshots with reputational blackmail, an offense that carries potential felony weight if proven. For Swift's team, the calculus was brutal. Either prop up Lively's narrative or risk a data dump that could derail billion-dollar branding deals. The next move came from Baldoni's lawyers, an evidence hunt aimed squarely at Swift's phone. May 8, 2025. Baldoni's team served a subpoena on Venable LLP demanding every document, email, or iMessage tied to the Valentine's call. Swift's spokesperson called the move irrelevant, inappropriate, and flat-out harassment. Yet insiders told people the singer was done with the drama and had iced out Lively. Page 6 upgraded the rift to friendship halted, noting that Swift's close circle NFL boyfriend Travis Kelce quietly unfollowed Ryan Reynolds the same week. For obsessive timeline keepers, Kelce's click became one more breadcrumb confirming bye-bye besties. Lively's PR bunker retaliated within hours, blanketing outlets with denials. Strangely, the official rebuttal letter wasn't signed by Gottlieb, the lawyer accused of issuing the threat, but by Ezra Hudson of a different firm. Legal pundits smelled risk. If Gottlieb signed and the affidavit proved true, perjury charges could follow. An unsigned denial preserves plausible deniability while still flooding headlines. Unsigned letters were eyebrow-raising, but the judge's response raised stakes higher. Within a week, Judge Louis J. Lyman reviewed Friedman's affidavit and Baldoni's fiery cover letter. He struck both as improper, scandalous material, chiding both sides for turning federal court into a reality TV confessional. Lyman warned Baldoni's lawyers that future PR stunts masquerading as filings could incur sanctions, a polite way of saying, "Stop feeding TMZ with my docket." The ruling calmed Swift's fans, temporarily. Mainstream outlets like People ran sidebars emphasizing the strike, while gossip blogs amplified the juicy details before they vanished behind Pacer paywalls. Lively's camp pointed to the strike as vindication. Baldoni's camp spun it as procedure, not proof. Meanwhile, the relationship vacuum sucked in everyone orbiting the pair. Gigi Hadid now reevaluating brunch plans, the Reynolds-Kelce unfollow fueling NFL hot mic jokes, and feminist commentators debating whether women were tearing down women or simply calling out manipulation. All noise. Yet nobody addressed the radioactive hard drives, 10 years of private texts poised like dynamite, from 2015 road trip playlists to 2024 Tony Award after parties. Swift and Lively's texts likely cover famous feuds unfiltered, Kanye's VMA Redux, Scooter Braun's Masters Grab, Selena versus Haley, rom-com receipts, Swift's rotating love life, Calvin, Tom, Joe, Maddie, and Lively's candid takes on each flame, career machinations, which producers lowballed Swift, which brand deals Lively stole from rivals, gossip gold, private group chat scorched earth reviews of Met Gala gowns, Emmy host monologues, Marvel press junket shade, even one screenshot contradicting Swift's feminist branding, or Lively's support all women mantra could trigger cancel culture backlash worth millions. PR pros say any negative phrase about domestic violence themes, central to It Ends With Us, would hand Baldoni's lawyers a megaphone. That risk explains why, per Friedman's affidavit, Lively allegedly asked Swift to delete their thread 4 months before the scandal erupted. Cleaning house is the move of someone who knows what's on the chopping block. Swift's silence since May. Fans speculate NDA negotiations, hush-hush mediation, or simply prepping for trial. Because once those texts become discoverable evidence, no amount of Reputation 2.0 press tours can circumvent the court's transparency throttle. But screenshots aren't the only currency. In modern Hollywood, leverage mutates into power in unexpected arenas. Since 2017, allegations of harassment and power abuse have toppled moguls, from Weinstein to Combs, and reframed PR strategy. Instead of kill fees for tabloids, today's muscle arrives as digital leverage, texts, DMS, and iCloud backups. Threats to leak content can silence accusers, force settlements, or, as alleged here, coerce public support. Attorneys warn that such tactics, if proven, meet legal definitions of extortion. Prosecutors gained convictions in 2023's Miles Richards case. Ex-manager threatened to leak Star's DMs using identical statutes. Blake and Ryan spent years curating the relatable roast each other brand. He trolls her on birthdays. She dunks on his gin ads. A blackmail scandal shreds that authenticity faster than any box office flop. Swift, on the flip side, has navigated controversy by flipping victim narratives into chart-topping albums. But the sympathy card fizzles if texts reveal she gladly wielded her fan army to strong-arm studios or silence rivals. PR experts tell Variety that both women now face a choose-your-nightmare matrix: settle privately and look guilty. or litigate publicly and risk total brand incineration, all of which makes the next court date the most anticipated Hollywood crossover since Endgame. A federal judge has set March 9, 2026 for Lively versus Baldoni, allotting 18 months for discovery, depositions, and motion practice. Experts predict subpoenas flying to Apple, AT&T, and encrypted backup vendors by September 2025. If Swift is deposed, she'll answer under oath whether Gottlieb threatened her counsel and whether she deleted evidence after notice, an action courts treat as spoliation. Sanctions could include adverse inference instructions that assume deleted texts were damaging. Courtrooms don't care about Stan Wars or pastel album covers. They care about timestamps, metadata, and chains of custody. Should the texts enter the record, either via forensic recovery or voluntary production, they become public, except for narrowly redacted passages. Reporters already petitioned Judge Lyman to live-stream hearings. He hasn't ruled yet, but given public interest, odds are high. We'll all be reading direct quotes in real time. Red carpet bonds thrive on illusion. Perfect photos, private jokes, curated captions. But data never sleeps, and phones have no NDAs. Whether the alleged ultimatum was real, or whether Baldoni's lawyer overplayed his hand, one truth stands. In 2025, friendship is as fragile as the weakest password. The next 12 months will test whether these two titans can negotiate a ceasefire before discovery trays their secrets across a courtroom projector. Until then, every unfollow, every PR statement, and every attorney signature, or lack thereof, is another breadcrumb on a trail leading straight to the witness box. So keep your screenshots and your confidences close, because in the age of digital leverage, even a fairy tale friendship can vanish with one tap of send.